We have a new partner in our retirement plan space, and today we're going to pull every bit of info out of our plan consultant that we can to introduce the new relationship. From the home base in Brookfield, Wisconsin, welcome to the latest episode of Inside Connect and Simplify, sponsored by the benefit companies. Roger here, human capital management consultant, marketing guy. And today, Paul is back. He's our director of business development to talk more about our retirement division, Benetract, and he brought a friend. From Latitude Retirement, based in Plymouth, Indiana, our guest is Sarah Baltazar. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Roger.
So I may end up handing off this entire conversation to you and Paul, since you two to go back a ways. But Sarah, could you start with an introduction of Latitude Retirement and yourself? Go ahead.
So my company is Latitude Retirement. We are a third-party administration company for retirement plans. We have been in business for about 35 years now. I personally have been with Latitude for 10 years now. My job with Latitude is to help with the sales process on bringing in new clients for plans, and I also do the plan design for all of the plans and get those set up.
Well, Sarah, it's great to have you here today. A couple things I think people should know. I've been in the business 30 years, working with retirement plans all that time, and I find that I know a lot about retirement plans, but I don't know all the details. And the details are where you can really make a difference in making a plan operate well, run well, make participants happy. So we're really thrilled that we've partnered with Latitude Retirement here at Benetract, because what we can do is help clients take their plans maybe to the next level. So to give people a feel for what we've done, I met you about 4 or 5 years ago. In that time, you've shown me that a client can have 2 people working at a company and still have a retirement plan that's good. You've shown me that a client can have 100 people and have improvements in their retirement plan and still be good. So I would think, can you think of maybe 2 or 3 things that you've seen that really maybe surprise plan sponsors that they might not be aware of when they run a retirement plan, and maybe we can help them with that?
Paul, I think one of the biggest things that employers don't realize about retirement plans, when people say retirement plans, you think of, okay, it's a benefit for the employees. But it is a benefit for the employees, but business owners, I don't think, always see the big picture is how a retirement plan can benefit the actual company in tax savings. If a plan is designed properly, it can help reduce the taxes that the company itself has to pay. It also helps reduce the taxes that the owner has to pay. We can design plans in a way that the owner can actually get, depending on their age and compensation, they could actually get a couple $100,000 a year into a defined benefit or cash balance plan for the owner, and all of that could come out with deferred taxes. So
what you're saying is that based on the design, some companies might decide that they need something besides a 401k plan.
Correct.
So one of the things, I look at our job here, the benefit companies and Benetract, like a contractor. We try to bring together the best vendors, the best services to help our clients get the best that they need and monitor those services and service providers. So in working with you, I found that Latitude Retirement actually is a pretty good sized company. You've got some resources out there. You want to give us a feel for how big you are, how many clients you have, and anything you can share to tell people about Latitude.
Latitude, we have several locations going from California to South Carolina, even Costa Rica. So we have a national presence. Even though we have a national presence, we still remain, I would say, a small town company because of the relationships that we keep with our clients. We try to keep a very close relationship with them.
I would say one thing, Sarah, that I think I'll just share with the group here, we won't give names out, but one of the things that really impressed me was that I had a friend, still have a friend, but he had a little group of 5 employees. And you helped him and his company get a very good retirement plan put in place. As a matter of fact, they put in 2 different plans at the same time because that's what was for their benefit. It helped them save a lot in taxes. It's going to help their employees grow for retirement and help the owners actually save more than they ever could have before with taxes. So I think that was a great thing to hear from that standpoint. The other thing that I'm thinking about is we recently had some laws passed in this country called Secure 2.0, 170 or so pages worth of laws that the government's throwing at us. So can you talk a little bit about somebody like Latitude, how your company is going to help people deal with these new laws related to retirement plans?
So I'm really excited about these new laws, but there's a lot that the plan sponsor has to do because some of the laws they have to put into their plan, and some of the laws they can choose to put on in their plan. So there's a lot of decisions that the plan sponsor needs to make on what they want to include in their plan. A lot of mandatory things that the plan sponsor has to do. So Latitude can come in and we can take their plan document and we can make sure that all of the amendments are done for the mandatory items in that plan. And we can also help them understand the law. They try to put it in layman's terms, but you and I both, retirement plans are not simple. They're not black and white for the most part. There's a lot of moving parts to retirement plans. So as the administrator, we are there to keep the plan in compliance. We are there to make sure that the plan sponsor is not discriminating against any employees, that their plan is running as is, and that their plan document is up to date. Without having a TPA that is close enough to know the plan's business and the needs of the business, it's hard to make some of those decisions.
I think one of the things that I want to point out, as Roger indicated, I came on board here at the benefit companies about 6 months ago. Been in the industry 30 years or so, but came on about 6 months ago. And one thing that's impressed me here is that whenever we talk about some benefit related to a company, whether it's health, human capital management, this group has a specialist in that area, somebody we can go to who really knows that area, knows it better than most anybody else that I've ever met. So I think when we talk about you and I working together, I've been in the industry 30 years, but what I found with Latitude is your team, especially with ERISA attorney on staff, actuary on staff, the legal documents right there that you can monitor over time for clients. When we meet with a client or a prospect, somebody who's interested in our services, they can tell us what they might like. We can tell them what could be possible for the retirement plan. But I think what your group really is going to do for us is make it happen in the most efficient way possible. Write the document in a way that they won't get in trouble. That brings up to a question. Has Latitude ever had to deal with their clients being audited by the IRS or DOL or any of those groups like that?
We have several clients who are audited, and Latitude helps with the audit process. We don't take everything off of the plan sponsor's shoulders because there are some items that the plan sponsor has to answer themselves. But for the most part, Latitude will go through and make sure that all the correct documents are pulled, that anything that the auditor is requesting, Latitude will help the plan sponsor pull all of those documents and provide what's needed.
So I think this is really important because for everybody who's listening, any retirement plan can get audited by the Department of Labor or IRS at any time. It doesn't mean they necessarily did something wrong. You get that letter, you're going to be audited. So to have a team that's got experience in working with those auditors to try to make that process go as smooth as possible can really take a lot of weight off the shoulder of the plan sponsor.
Absolutely.
And speaking of weight off the plan sponsors, I know one area that is big to me, very important, because of where I used to work, is in the retirement world, plan sponsors can reduce their liability in relation to investments by adopting a 321 or 338 fiduciary. We help our clients get that done. But we also know now that there's a way for clients to get some greatly reduced liability when it comes to the administration on their plan. And I know that's called 316, right?
Yes.
So can you talk about maybe what plans do when they work with your company just as an administrator and what they might get, or why would they want to turn on this 316 service?
Well, retirement plans can take some time on the plan sponsor side. They have to upload payroll every time they get paid. They have to upload the contributions. If someone wants a distribution or a loan, they have to process those. And especially with the new Secure 2.0, when they add in the disaster relief, the student loan matching, the new savings accounts and everything within the plan, all of those are items that the plan sponsor has to track and has to monitor those, and it becomes time consuming. So, they are in the business, whatever business the company does, to make money for that company. And then you have to spend a lot of time with administration of a retirement plan. Sometimes that's why some employers don't want a retirement plan, because of the time it takes. So with 316 services, what that does is Latitude will actually go in and they will upload the payroll for the company. They will make the contributions for the company. They will approve loans and distributions. They'll track the savings accounts that can now be put in there. They take away all of the headaches, really, of the retirement plan for the plan sponsor. And not only do they take away the headaches, they also take away the fiduciary liability that the plan sponsor has for administering the plan. So if a notice was to go out and that notice didn't get sent out, instead of them coming against the plan sponsor and saying you did not send this notice out when it was required to, they would come to Latitude and say you didn't send out the notice as it was required. And so any actions would be taken against Latitude and not the plan sponsor.
I thought what we do now is we've actually been working together for a few months now officially, and so we talk about a couple cases. Again, no names thrown out here. We'll protect everybody's privacy. However, I think it's important for people to know that your team has the resources to help a company if they've got several hundred employees.
Yes.
I think that's true. But also you've got the hometown staff that cares about people to help startups. So even if somebody is listening to this presentation, this podcast, they don't have a retirement plan, but they've got a business. So how small of a business do you think it would be? How small could a business be where it makes sense to have a retirement plan?
As long as there's one person, that's all it takes. We have retirement plans called solo case because it's just one person and it's the business owner. A lot of times with a solo case, we'll actually put together another plan to make a combo plan. We'll put a defined benefit or cash balance plan in with the solo K. And that allows the owner, because they don't have to worry about testing, that could allow the owner to put, depending on their age, between $100,000 to $200,000 a year into a retirement plan, all tax deferred.
And I think by saying $100,000, $200,000 a year, you really caught my ear there. Some people hear, for example, that you're allowed to put in $6,500 to an IRA. Maybe they've heard you're allowed to put in $22,500 to a 401k. But you don't tend to hear about people putting away $100,000 or $200,000 a year. So I'll point out to everybody listening, Latitude is an expert at keeping things legal. You're doing it right.
Yes.
You're doing what needs to be done. But when you know the rules and you know the regulations well, you can help a company pick and choose which ones are going to be best for them.
Correct.
And with that, we can all work together to make sure they've got the right solution.
Correct. I believe plan design for retirement plans, it always sounds so boring, like, they're all the same. But honestly, when it comes to designing a retirement plan, you can really make it custom to the employer and to the direction the business is going. If they're going to look to, if it's a new business and they're looking to grow really fast, we can design a plan that will help save them in taxes and also help retain and bring in good employees.
So maybe we'll talk about what's going forward, the plans are for Latitude and the benefit companies moving forward now. So I know I'm excited to work with you. I think having your resources on deck when we talk to people who are interested in our services, I look at us at the Benetrack organization as like the general contractor. You know, we're out there looking for who's the best, who's going to help retirement plans do well. Our job is also to help monitor those entities we bring together, report to the plan sponsor what needs to be done, get the participants the proper education, including advice on how to use everything that's been done. But I think what's going to really help is when we can go back to square one with plans and say, what's the right thing for you in the first place? Is this the right design for you?
Right.
So I think that's something what we can do going forward is really talk about each plan and no more cookie cutter, putting everybody in the same box, you know. We want to make sure we're doing what's right for each client.
Absolutely. And I'm so excited about this relationship because, you know, I deal with a lot of the smaller companies where they have, you know, under 50 employees. And those companies have a hard time getting benefits. And if they do get benefits, then they're so expensive that they really, you know, can't afford to. So I'm extremely excited about moving forward with this relationship because I think not only our companies are great fits for each other because between your company or between the benefit company and Latitude, we cover all of the benefits that an employer would have to deal with. And so I'm really excited about when I go into a company and they don't have health insurance that I can say, hey, Pop, you need to help this company. And, you know, we can get them some pricing for insurance. So I'm really excited about being able to offer more benefits to our clients.
I think that brings Roger back in here because for me, our goal here is to connect and simplify in every area regarding employee benefits. So when we can bring all that together, I think we're on track.
So and Sarah, we've talked about this a little bit, but what we love doing is having these conversations with business owners like you're having and asking them what they would like to do or what's painful for them right now that they would like to not have to deal with anymore. And there's always going to be an opportunity somewhere in there where we can help them improve something or potentially get a better price or get a review to see if they're where they need to be. And we do work in the same space. And we're talking about smaller is relative. I get it, but smaller size companies, you know, up to a couple hundred of employees. A lot of those companies just don't have all those things in place, or the business owner's doing all the work, and they're done with that. They don't want to deal with that anymore, especially in the HR side, but the compliance side of 401k, all of it. So that's going to give you a great opportunity to go, hey, you know, we're already doing this with you folks, but what else do you have concerns about, or what else could we be helping you with? Because I've got resources. And they'll go, well, I've got a problem with whatever. Chances are you're going to be calling me and saying, Roger, we need to talk to these folks. So that's why I'm kind of excited about it as well. I mean, Paul's really focused on the 401k side, but I look at the bigger picture and how can we help him do all these things. So that's going to be really cool. So Paul's kind of talked about what's the plan going forward. How can folks, what's the best way for folks to find you?
They can go to our website, which is latituderetire.com. My information is on, I believe it's under the Teams tab, and my information's there. They can also...
You can always reach out to us too here at Benetrack. So my name is Paul Dowd, pdowd@benetrack.com. You can always send us a note. We'd be glad to connect. That's what we do. That's what our company's all about, connecting people to what they need. And so we'll be happy to listen to you, listen to your situation, whatever you might be dealing with, and then go from there. And bringing Sarah in on the conversation might be a big part of that.
Absolutely. I would give my email address, but my last name is so long that they probably don't want to write that down for us.
That's fine. Yeah, and of course, if anybody asks, we'll connect the dots there. And to refresh everybody's mind again, so every time we talk about this, we work coast to coast nationwide. We don't have a place in Costa Rica, but But we do work across the United States. And again, as do you, as does Latitude.
Yes.
But your specialty or your focus is really kind of just a group of states. Where do you spend most of your time?
So my territory, I spend my time in Michigan, northern Indiana, also southern Florida, but and now Wisconsin. So.
Okay, so that's where Sarah's going to be working. We're going to work everywhere. I mean, we can work anywhere. The only place we don't, well, I think we work everywhere. So that we won't go there. What else did we want to talk about today? I mean, we got the overview of why we're working together, which is great, and what Sarah's team is going to do and what we're going to do to support each other. Anything else we need to talk about?
I think the last thing, just to finish it up here, would be to remind anybody listening to this presentation that if you have a retirement plan, there basically is an obligation about every 3 to 5 years to benchmark your plan, make sure you're getting good services and good value for what you're paying. The government, by the way, in case somebody tells you something different, the government does not have a hard and fast rule like every 3 years or every 5 years, but they're very clear that it needs to be done.
Yes, it has to be your due diligence to get that done. And
then also with the new Secure 2.0 Act, companies are going to have to put a plan in place. It's becoming mandatory state by state, but it's happening. So if you don't have one, you're going to have to start the conversation, correct?
You're going to have to eventually because, every state is going to having their own plan. So if you don't have a plan in place, then you're going to have to either just go to the state's plan, which are typically cookie cutter plans, or go and get your own plan.
All right. Well, I think that's probably all we want to talk about today, kind of a high-level overview of why we're working together. If we have a reason to get back together and talk more about 2.0, we will, because there's a lot of layers to 2.0.
And there's probably a lot more layers to come.
I would think. So, as those roll out, we're going to have more conversations about that for anybody who needs to hear about that. So, Sarah, thanks for being here today. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks again for listening to this podcast of Insight, Connect, and Simplify. Be well.
Insourcing the benefit company eliminates ongoing frustrations your payroll processor causes. Your on-team payroll expert combines time management with payroll simplifying payday, avoiding tax problems, and is always available and accountable in person to you. Working with your Insource payroll expert, your Insourced human resource manager eliminates silos of business knowledge, simplifying real-time regulatory compliance. You don't have to know law. Your Insourced HR professional does, connecting benefits eligibility, contributions, even terminations. With HR and payroll, your Insource business administration team simplifies eligibility, even terminated employee payouts. Connecting workers' comp, payroll, and human resources simplifies premiums as you go, eliminating point-in-time payments and painful year-end audits. Your Insource business administrator will combine health benefits and retirement plan, payroll and HR, simplifying, coordinating eligibility benefit administration. Connect and simplify. Insource, the benefit companies. ConnectandSimplify.com.